From the H2 multiplayer mod Twitter, today our team members received a cease and desist order on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the H2M mod project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations immediately and permanently. So the H2M multiplayer mod is now dead in the water, like a lot of the other projects and stuff that our community has tried directing and just has been shut down and cut down repeatedly over and over again by Activision. I've had a ton of people tagging me in this whole thing, obviously because I made, one or two videos on it, but also because people want me to go on this massive emotionally charged rant screaming at Activision about this whole thing. But honestly, I put my energy into the last time that they shut down this kind of stuff, so this one probably gonna be a little bit more tame. Honestly, with them doing this, I feel I'm disappointed, of course, but I'm not entirely like, this didn't really surprise me ever since the last time anyway. The last time was like very, very new, very, very like jarring. I was very surprised that it happened that way, but this one, yeah. So myself and including a lot of other people were under the assumption that because the H2 multiplayer mod required a paid version of the game, there was no pirating, there was no people pushing you to like, hey, you can go onto this website or download this RAR file or do this other thing. There was none of that. The team, the website, and everything for the mod encouraged you to go and buy an official copy of the game over on Steam. People went and did that and then installed the mod, and now a day before the actual release day, they have received a cease and desist. Again, I'm not surprised. Obviously, I'm disappointed, but I'm not gonna let this whole thing get me. I'm not gonna blow up over it. It really sucks that Activision really just wants nothing to do or have any kind of relationship with the modding community or really the community in a more direct sense. This is just kind of how things are. Just because that's how things are doesn't mean that it makes it right. I think they're wrong for this. I think this is super underhanded. I think it's incredibly greedy. And ultimately, if you did buy the game and you have less than like 2 hours or something, you can refund it. I unfortunately can't because I was playing a bunch, but if you have under 2 hours, you should definitely refund, because I have to say this as well. The official versions of these older Call of Duty, specifically, especially over on Steam, are not safe to play. They are not safe. Activision doesn't put any money or any resources into fixing or maintaining these old servers once, all of these little exploits and holes and other things like that are found and abused. They don't feel like it's worth it to maintain all of those old servers, which, I mean, for a multi-billion-dollar company seems like it wouldn't be very difficult, but, also ignoring the fact that they make more money year over year over year, and more people are getting laid off in the process. I mean, it's just full-blown laziness and greed from Activision in total. They could absolutely hire entire teams that could take care of a lot of these old games, and it's not even maintained in terms of like updating the game to give new content or anything. It is simply making sure that the game is secure and safe for people that bought the game, but they just simply won't invest anything into it. I mean, but for them financially, it's just not worth it. Even though I highly doubt it would cost a ton of money for them to do that. But they're also very aware that they produce a game every single year, which means that they would then have to go and get a team every single year to then just kind of maintain another game year over year over year. But again, I highly doubt that that team would be, working overtime or anything like that, all around the clock and stuff like that. It takes a while for a lot of these exploits to come out, or they're already known, or the system that they're currently on, there is no fix for those exploits. They're just kind of there, built into the system. There's just holes. So it's just not worth it to them. It's too difficult for them. It doesn't benefit them enough. And yeah, so let's just look at the replies. Rain says, you guys fucking suck. Roy says, if you bought MWR on Steam for this and you haven't played the game, please refund it. Apex reveals some of the plans that we had. I talked to a few people about this already in the team. They were planning on doing a road to kill cam and other things with other people. Apex showed the same thing that I saw before. They were planning on MW2 remastered, road to a kill cam 100, some more cut comms, 1v1s versus fan. There was going to be a new gaming channel, starting with a lot of this content to really like throw it back to how it actually was, not just having the like OGs or like certain people in the video, but actually playing the old game with those same people. 1v1s, private matches, free for all. Yeah. So sorry this happened. Leave them on red. I don't get it. It requires a paid version of the game. The fuck is the problem? The problem is that they don't care. They got your money, which they also put it on sale a couple days before the release, by the way, to get more people to buy it, so then they can pull the rug out from under them right here to send this cease and desist the day before. Cam says, fuck you. No way, man. This is sad. Reconsider. Thanks for trying. This is usually how it goes down. Yeah, generally just a lot of sadness. There are definitely some people out there that are like, well, you guys are naive for thinking that it wouldn't get taken down. Or it's weird. There are people out there that are like sitting around like, see, here's my tweet from 4 days ago. I told you that it was gonna get shut down. You saw a storm cloud in the distance and predicted that it would rain. Congratulations. You think you got a fucking magic ball? You're not intelligent. You're just fucking miserable. Yes, we saw multiple multiple mods get shut down, but there are also some other mods that I'm even afraid to mention by name at this point that are still going. But me personally, I can't even play or make videos on this shit. I mentioned this in the last time that I was talking about this. I feel a sense of responsibility. It's like this weird, hard, conflicting thing. I want to promote these mods and other things like that so people can experience these old games safely, but at the same time, if they get too much attention, Activision will take them down. So I'm in this position where I feel like I can't even talk about this shit. And it sucks. It wouldn't suck nearly as bad if we could just go back to the old games safely and not have to worry about it. But instead, people have to worry about getting RCE'd, their account banned, IPs pulled, all sorts of shit. Charlie Intel says Activision has sent a cease and desist letter to H2 Multiplayer Mod, requiring them to take down the mod. Charlie Intel is sending out the link for the refunds, so that's good. That's the best way that we can repair the damage overall. For anybody that did buy it and is like, oh no, I'll just go and play it regularly on Steam, don't do it. It's not safe. Do not do it. Wait until they rake in the money from everyone buying Remastered just for this, then shut them down. Classic, yeah. And the mod team was making zero, and counted zero money from this whole thing. They weren't selling access to it. They weren't selling skins or anything in a shop or anything like that. They told you, go and buy it from the official thing. The money goes to Activision and hope that that's enough. And it's simply not. Activision is so lame. They don't care about their product anymore. And when people come along to do something that boosts their own sales, they take it away. They hate us. This is worse than heartbreak. Come on. I just woke up. Are you fucking kidding me? This was the only thing Call of Duty related that's been interesting since Rebirth Island. I just shifted my sleep schedule to wake up to play this game on launch. I was genuinely excited. It's just, people are upset, man. It really sucks. Activision does not care about your safety. And also, there's some people out there saying, why don't you have the same energy for Black Ops 6 when it's coming out? You can still be a Call of Duty fan, want to play the old game, and still say fuck Activision. I don't understand what this weird mental gymnastic shit is. If it's fuck Activision, keep that same energy and just stop buying their games altogether. It's just a weird, dishonest, like, jump in logic to think that somehow the two are correlated. Activision produces games that a lot of people love and a lot of people, or at least used to love, and have a ton of memories on the old games. It's because you sit there and point out and recognize all the shitty things that they do and the way that they act and the way that they protect their IP. You can still clearly see the maliciousness in the way that they conduct themselves. They barely maintain the games that came out a couple years ago. You could go back on the Modern Warfare 2019, there were videos going around on it. You could go back to Modern Warfare 2019 and see people flying all around the map and shit, modded lobbies everywhere. They don't maintain their games within a couple years, let alone trying to maintain a game well over 10 years old. They simply don't care enough to go and take care of that. And when the community tries to just get a feeling to be able to just play the old thing, which is still a part of their entire IP, they go and shut these things down because they could either potentially interact or take sales away from BO6 or something. Laughing at people for just having hope is not making you look intelligent. You just look like an asshole. It's loser shit. Optic Hex speaks on MW2 mod situation being shut down by Activision. Nothing but facts.
It's like they can't get out of their own way to allow for a community to be passionate about a game that they all fell in love for. Now, I would understand if these mod people were charging people to get in there. I understand if these mod people were charging for skins that they make, that they collect money on. I understand all that, but if it's just a simple mod that increases the quality of the movement and of the visuals of said game, which no one is currently playing because it's so old, then why interfere at that level? Don't you got bigger things to fucking worry about?
Modern Warfare Remastered, even when it was the brand new game when it came out on Steam, was immediately dead in the water. It had a peak of around like 6,000 to 7,000 players, which is an embarrassing number for Call of Duty anyway, but it's also a result overall. The only reason it ever only peaked at 7,000 players concurrently is because everybody knows already that PC Call of Duty on Steam is a joke and it's unsafe. It's not taken care of and it's not secure. It's the most players, the most sales and stuff that game has seen because people knew that it was updated and that it was safe. Now they again removed a safe space for their old games, and they still have these games up for sale that are dangerous. They're still selling it without even mentioning that you're in danger for playing the game online. Community then produces a safe way to play the game and they shut it down. It's insane. FaZe Clan tweeted, "We're begging you guys to reconsider this decision. To be clear, we have zero involvement in this project outside of being massive fans. We were excited to produce illcams on the H2 mod." That was part of one of the plans. Her team made it a requirement to purchase the original MW2 Remastered published by you guys. An excellent asset to onboard users and players of your product. This is harmless fun and community building, something we feel Call of Duty desperately needs. Please do the right thing and let the kids play their game. From Banks. They don't care that we need it. Again, understand, they don't care about the community building. They care about retention. They care about getting you on the newest, most modern monetized version of a game that they have produced. Yes, you might buy Modern Warfare Remastered, and yeah, the money might go to them, but there's no shop or anything to be able to squeeze more money out of it. It's just that one-time purchase, and they go from there. Just so everyone understands, Activision put MWR on sale, hoping people would play it for more than 2 hours so you cannot refund it on Steam, and then cease and desisted it on the day before release. Again, malicious. Bob Network tweets, as it stands, Modern Warfare 4 2026 will be developed by Infinity Ward and will feature remastered maps from the original MW3. Ghost of Hope quote tweets it and says, "No wonder they are cease and desisting fan-made projects that make no money. They're creatively bankrupt." That's definitely a part of it. They recognize that people want the old and original MW2 and MW3 to the point to where they are making full-blown games named the exact same thing, with maps completely remade with those in mind, but just with their new updated monetization and retention systems in there. Their social engineers, psychologists, weirdo mind reading and manipulation tactics and shit that they're doing. It's weirdo shit. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into it any further. I don't want to say anything that's like too wrong or emotionally charged or whatever. I'm just saying it for what it is. RIP H2M. I'm sad about it. It's been rumored that they have a Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer in their back pocket, and maybe they'll release it at some point where the game is like struggling or dying somehow. But again, the way that they would view struggling and dying, I can't even tell if they would like look at the player count to determine that, or the amount of skins that somebody buys with the amount of retention that they're trying to manipulate into people. I don't know. Obviously, their biggest metric is earnings, right? That's what all their investment calls are about. That's where all their money comes from. Their profit is number one. And then retention is the second one, which they can make kind of interchangeable, dishonestly anyway, as player retention equals player satisfaction. And it's just not the truth. Just because a game has more players doesn't mean that the game is in a better position than it was before. Just because people are playing longer doesn't mean that that game is better or worse than another game. You have managed to make a system to manipulate them into playing longer. That's personally curating the certain games that they're in to keep them playing longer, like skill-based matchmaking or engagement optimized matchmaking. I'm getting too deep into it, but you get it. The soul of the Call of Duty community is there. The passion is there. People resonated with this Modern Warfare 2 mod. Maybe the only positive thing that can come from this is that Activision sees that people are willing to go and buy a game in order to go and play a Modern Warfare 2 remastered. So maybe they feel more confident in releasing their own. That is the only positive that I can see coming out of this whole thing. But again, it's likely that they would have to be in a position where the current Call of Duty is not doing well or not being received well, so then they would release it side by side. But then they also mentioned that they felt like even releasing Modern Warfare Remastered side by side with Infinite Warfare, even though it was received terribly, and I think Modern Warfare Remastered bundled with it did help, they did also note officially that it did split the player base, which ultimately did result in less money for them. So yeah, we're probably never seeing that shit.